I wanted to get on here and acknowledge my wife, Crystal, because my wife, Crystal, has spent the last, gosh, how many years taking care of babies and having babies and being pregnant and nursing, and she's still nursing. And my wife, Crystal, I wanted to kind of share with you how we met, but I also just wanted to say that, you know, just recently, we decided we were done having babies. We were done making babies. And not that I had a lot to do with that. But Crystal just recently, you know, she kind of recognized that time to move on to a new chapter of life. And so she started getting very much more involved in Isagenix like she was in the very beginning, more involved in our business together. And it's been really cool to watch. It's been really, I don't know. It's just been fun. It's been fun to watch Crystal. It's been fun to watch how creative she is. It's been fun to watch how resourceful she is. It's fun to watch how she leads, because, you know, there's people who they can lead an organization or a team or a company, and they kind of get up there and rah, 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 and they're bossy and they push people. And there's another style of leadership, and that style of leadership is through inspiration and literally, you know, grabbing people by the hand and pulling them up. It's not a dictatorship. It's not bossy. It's just all through inspiration and motivation and involvement, and literally doing things together, you know, as a team. She has that. It's a natural gift that she has, a form of leadership where she inspires people and she brings people along with her naturally, and it's not premeditated, it's not forced. It's really remarkable to witness. And I don't acknowledge my wife enough, you know, and I think most men don't. I think that what happens is we, as husbands, I think... you know, it's like with your children, you know, do we really tell them the things that they're great at? Enough. You know, we say, I love you. Good night. I love you. We kiss them. But do we often enough, every now and then my dad, and I'll hand it to my dad because every now and then my father, he's my best friend. You know, he goes beyond, our relationship goes beyond, you know, father-son relationship. And every now and then, it's a little awkward, I'll be honest. But every now and then, we'll be driving somewhere, and all of a sudden, my dad will say something like how proud he is of me. And he'll tell me all these wonderful things that he sees in me. And he'll tell me, you know, all these traits that he appreciates about me. And it's, gosh, it's very sensitive. It's very touching. It's the last thing you would expect two men, full-grown men, to be talking about. And like I said, it's a little awkward. I think that's most men, they shy away from that because their whole lives they've been taught to be tough. They've been taught to be, suck it up, you know, and be a tough guy. Don't let people see that side of you. And, you know, and I think that's why oftentimes we're not able to share our feelings with our wives. But I want my wife to know that I am so impressed by her, that she's amazing, flat out amazing. I was just telling my friend Tony that I literally feel like I hit the lottery when I met and when I was so blessed to marry Crystal Escobar, Crystal Beaumont. I feel like I hit the lottery. And as the years go by, I just realize more and more and more how much I hit the lottery, how fortunate I am. And I think as the years go by, I'll even realize that more so. She's something special. Crystal is. She's something special. Crystal and I met. It was crazy the way we met. I actually saw Crystal my sophomore year. And We were not going to the same school. We kind of missed each other. I went to a different school. She left that very school and went over to the area that I was at. So we literally like traded places the same year. And that was sophomore year. And I was visiting a friend, Brenda. I was over at her house. And this girl walked out of the house. Crystal was best friends with Brenda, but I'd never met her. And this was sophomore year. Crystal walks down the stairs. And I saw this girl and I thought, holy crap, that girl is gorgeous. You know, when you're a sophomore, you're a girl crazy, but I just remembered she was with an older guy. I don't know who it was, but she was leaving that house and I didn't get a chance to say hello or anything. And I just remember thinking, whoa, like, that girl's gorgeous. And I thought, that initial thought that came to my mind was, whoa, she's way out of my league. And, I probably would never have a chance anyway. But the chemistry, on my end, the chemistry was out of this world. And then what happened was, after my mission, you go on a mission for the Mormon Church, and then you're kind of charged to, what we feel in our faith is the most important thing to do from that point forward is to find a spouse and get married and start a family. And I know that in some ways it kind of goes against, what is being taught in the world, but but that's what we're taught. We're taught you kind of get married young still even, and you start a family. And so my predominant thought and energy was around finding a spouse. So I was dating like crazy, and I would go on first date after first date after first date after first date because I really wouldn't go on a second date if I didn't think it was, if I didn't think there was potential there. I would just keep moving through. Well, I was on a date with my best friend Garrett. We were on a double date. I wasn't on a date with Garrett. That didn't come out right. I was on a double date, and with Garrett. And he had set me up with a nice girl. But I knew that girl, it wasn't going anywhere. And what had happened was I got a phone call. I got a phone call from an old friend. Oh, Crystal, get off. Get off. What? You can get on my thing, but I can't get on any of your things? That's a double standard. I'm not allowed to watch Crystal live because she says it makes her nervous. But apparently it doesn't work both ways. It's okay. You can stay on. I'm not scared of you. So anyway, this friend says, can I come visit you? I'm in town from San Diego. It was Brenda, my old friend. And I said, sure, because like I said, I didn't see the person I was on a date with. I didn't see that as very serious or going anywhere. So I was like, yeah, come on, pop over. She said she had some friends with her. So they came over to my house and we were on a double date. We were just like getting ready to go somewhere, something like that. And so in comes the friend, in comes another and another. And then in walks Crystal. And my mind went back to this sophomore year when I'd seen this girl walking down the stairs. And I thought, oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me. That's insane. And so come to find out she just returned from a Mormon mission. And I was like, what? Because back then, I don't know how to say it, but back then, I didn't think a girl that was like that had Crystal's looks. They usually get married really young in our faith. It's changed now because it's become very much more popular for sisters, to go out on missions, which I totally endorse. I think it's the best thing for them. But when I was like, whoa, she not only is that, but she went on a mission, and that was very attractive to me. I knew she was a very spiritual person. And so Crystal comes into my house. I stopped paying attention to my date. I stopped paying attention to any of the girls there. And I start talking to Crystal the whole time. Come to find out, what was she doing at the time? She had just gotten heavily involved in network marketing. So, you just add this up. It's like I was just like fatally attracted to this girl. She just got back from a mission. That says a lot about a person. and she was doing network marketing. And so we hit it off. I mean, we really hit it off because, you know, the network marketing thing was big, because it's rare to find people that both, you know, get behind that and are that passionate about it. And so we always joke that I say that Crystal was trying to recruit me into her network marketing company, and she says that I was trying to recruit her into my network marketing company. And when they said goodbye that night, my date literally left. I think she wasn't like mad. She kind of knew what was going on. She knew that, you know, wow, there's like a special vibe going on there. In fact, she left, and, you know, and she said, I'm going to take off. And I was like, okay, sorry. And I ran into her years later at Costco. And she said, it was so funny. I said, hey, how are you? It's good to see you. And I hadn't seen her since that night. And she's like, yeah, what have you been up to? And I was like, well, I got married and I'm having a kid. And she's like, you married that girl, didn't you? And I was like, yeah, I did. And she says, yeah, I figured that was probably the case. I could see the connection there. It was kind of cool too, because my friend Garrett, who has since passed on, my friend Garrett, that night, I was visiting with Crystal and her friends, and then they left. And that night, I got back together with Garrett, and he, you know, we'd been best friends for 20-something years. And but I mean, since the 4th grade, we were best friends. And Garrett, out of nowhere, he goes, dude, you're going to marry that girl. And I was like, what? I was like, that's what I'm feeling. That's exactly what I'm thinking. And he's like, dude, I'm telling you, I know you're going to marry that girl. And it was just crazy. It was just like, but see, what I wanted to share was at that time, and I never want to forget this, and I want my children to know this. At that time in my life, that was my predominant thought, my predominant prayer in my life. I was trying to live so good. I was trying to live so clean. I was trying to do everything right. I was reading my scriptures. I was going to church. I was trying to be so faithful and serve in my calling. And I was just asking God, begging God, you know, not only was I praying 3-4 times a day, and that was the first thing I would ask for, but it was the prayer in my heart all day long, was that I would find that person that would complete me, and then I would find that person that I could start a life with. It was so important to me, you know. And when I got to tell you, looking back, I know that God brought Crystal to me. He literally hand delivered her, like package delivered her on my doorstep. And I knew it. The moment she walked in, I knew it. And, you know, so just to see where we've come over the years and to see, it's just all, you know, you ever had that feeling like that assurance? Have you ever had that feeling like, like that really was meant to be and I could never deny it? I'll never be able to deny it. Hey, Steph. And that's how I feel about my relationship with my wife. I feel like it was predetermined, predestined, foreordained. I feel like we're soulmates. I feel like God literally blessed me with her. And, you know, so I haven't told that story a lot to, you know, I tell it in person with people, but I've never like publicly told that story. And then the more I get to know Crystal over the years, the more I'm like, wow, like, how did I get so lucky? How was I so fortunate? You know, she's not pretentious. She's not gaudy. She's not vain. She is just such a good person. And, you know, and you don't tell your wife that enough. Naturally, none of us do. But she is such a good person. She just wants to do good. And she wants to serve, and she wants to bless people's lives. She wants to make a difference.